Hello, I'm Ginny Nadler, and I am going to introduce my system of movement called Structural Realignment Integration. How do we create a sustainable, aligned structure that will support us to live with freedom of movement for a lifetime? As we age, the questions we need to ask concern our quality of life and how sustainable is this structure I am living in for the duration of my years. Our bodies wear our physical history, and our muscles translate that history, deforming on and around the bones according to how we have used this vehicle. How to sustain freedom of movement and high-level wellness, how to prevent injury with the active physical lives we lead, and most important, how to undo old patterns that have pushed us out of alignment to maintain freedom and live out of pain. We now know that to live whole, well, prosperous lives depends on having the health and well-being we desire over the lifetime we are here for. This instructive DVD is for anyone having pelvic pain, hip injuries, spinal issues associated with injuries, sciatica, and low back pain. With the pelvis out of balance, out of alignment, muscles pulling across the pelvic floor to the depth of the fascia, creating stretch leading to distortion, the practice of yoga and any other physical modality becomes a challenge. For yoga teachers and students, what is presented in this DVD is vital information. We all begin our physical life pattern, leaning, standing, collapsing onto one leg. The study and practice of the yoga postures is to create balance and harmony physically and energetically. Our muscles will follow the direction that we are moving in, that we are pulled in, raveling around the femur bones and sacrum in such a manner that ultimately we will not have two legs to stand on, maybe not even one. Hence, the reason we see so many elders stooped over walkers. Being upright beings, from the first step we take as a child, we tend to favor one leg over the other. Look at young children, and you will see the position of the head forward, the child walking or leaning to one side. Just notice how you are standing or sitting right now. Do you favor one leg? When you are standing for any length of time, do you rock back and forth to find a comfortable place to be? Have you more than often wondered why you can stretch so much more deeply into one side and not the other, and that all of the injuries or discomfort you feel is mostly on one side of the body? Why 3 years ago were there over 400,000 hip replacements amongst the baby boomers? Remember, my generation, was the one that was never going to age and not have the use of this body. So we ran and biked and played tennis and did all the fitness protocols that we could do to prevent aging with debilitation. However, we did all of this, these fast movement modalities, with an out-of-aligned pelvis causing great damage. Now we wonder why the pain. In recent years, younger and younger people are having hip replacements. Frightening. We must go to the source of the distortion in the pelvic floor and begin to unravel at the site of the perineum to create the freedom we need to literally grow out of the pelvic floor and create extension of the spinal muscles. Only from this core place can we create the yoga postures and healthy movement. We are an energy system, and when the flow is blocked or limited, we create dysfunction and illness. The method I am going to introduce you to has been used with all of my clients, be they yoga students, teachers, athletes, anyone who wants to have more freedom and learn to stand on two legs to support this building we have been graced with. The individuals I have worked with have come to me with complaints of pain and injury of all kinds: neck, knee, shoulder, hip, and mostly low back, herniated discs, sciatica being the most common complaints. The teachers of yoga I have taught this method to are now including this information in their teaching to prevent injury. There is no amount of yoga we can do with an out-of-aligned pelvis that will not continue to pull the structure out of balance. Muscles are attached to bones, and the job of the spine is to support this building. Now yoga is being performed at faster and faster speeds, and there is no time to unwind muscle over and off bone to create the necessary openings to receive the benefit of the pose, the stretch. Our goal is to make space, have the freedom of movement, and be pain-free. I have introduced this method to osteopaths, massage therapists, physical therapists, dancers and dance therapists, occupational therapists, physiologists, physicians, Pilates students and teachers, chiropractors, network spinal doctors, and they have all had that aha moment. Anyone working with clients who have pain and are injured, as well as all yoga teachers, therapists, and students, must be aware of the perineal area and how to unwind the distortions at this site to ultimately free the pelvic floor and spine so that we can stand evenly on two legs. I am honored after 35 years to bring this wisdom to all, because in this age of being fit and living much longer lives than ever before, we must learn to have this body serve us. And for that to be, we must serve this body well. The burden on the healthcare system and the enormous amount of money spent medically, surgically, is staggering. These tools, this program, will help you unwind your distortion, create freedom and well-being.